and Douglas on Sports 1440. Brought to you by The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440. Brought to you by Wilhuck Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
$11:02. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on The Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhuck Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in the Duke. Probably the best way to kick off your weekend. Get some beef jerky, a few other things, peruse the menu, talk some sports with Trent, and have a good time. Tell them we sent you. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Donovan Paulson, and Connor the intern in studio. Nice Friday morning, actually. Quite a nice day out there. Dropped the little guy off out at the out in the sticks, drove around Blackhawk Golf Course. Looked like a beautiful day to go play some golf.
Was there any urge, any inkling for you to just maybe have a little mail it in Friday and leave the show to the rest of this ragtag group and you go play a quick 18 at Blackhawk?
Not feeling good, guys. No, honestly, not at all.
Oh,
I don't love golf the way everyone else does.
You're a once a year guy to determined fantasy football draft order type golfer. And amongst that group, you're actually one of the better ones, aren't you?
No, my friends are decent, but we only count par threes.
Oh, right.
Which is almost a disadvantage. Like, because I don't know, one par three, I put it within like 5 feet. That was the highlight of my golf escapades for last season. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice out there. I will say, when I had the urge is when I was watching Yaremchuk go for the ace race.
You're just like, how hard could it be?
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm like, can I go take like 20 swings and just see how close I get?
Yeah, you should just pop out. It's not far from where you live, just up the road to Cattail there. So you should have dipped in, brought him maybe a little too good to go box of miscellaneous items, and then while he chowed down on 2 Timbits and croissant and a bagel, you took a turn with a few strokes.
I should have. And I feel like I'm an unofficial brand ambassador for Too Good to Go. I swing by, bring in some treats for the crew every once in a while. Today, Duke, I went to a convenience store. And
that seems to run an even higher risk than your other stopping point.
There's a lot of things they could bring me. Do you know what I got today? Did I tell you?
Today? No.
6 liters of milk. That expires over the weekend. There's a 4 liter of 2% in the fridge that expires tomorrow. Help yourself, guys. Go have a glass of milk.
Let's see who can chug it the fastest after the show today. We'll just chug milk. I'll win, I bet.
I think between you and I, we could put a pretty good dent in it. I don't know about Donovan if he's a milk drinker. Young Connor, milk drinker.
Donovan's a total milk boy. Look at him over there.
I thought about going down to the sales pit and being like, hey,
you
guys like milk?
You boys want some milk?
Let's drink this milk and let's make some sales. I didn't do that though, but yeah, 4 liters of 2% milk that expires tomorrow. 2 liters of 3.25% milk that expires on Sunday, which I think I'm going to take home to Benny. But
I love the homogenous 325. That's my go-to.
Well, you could have some of that too if you'd like.
They'll sip.
We will talk some sports, of course. We're going to continue our look around the NFL alphabetically. I had a pretty nice guest that told me today would work, and then I was ghosted. So the Green Bay Packers, we're just going to move on. It's been 2 times I tried. We're going to move on. We're going to just continue the alphabetical program here and go down to Jacksonville. Stuart Weber's going to join us, covers the team down there for Action Sports Jacksonville, the CBS and I believe Fox affiliate.
This is essentially just turned into the AFC South week.
You're right. Kind of the way the alphabet goes, I suppose. But we'll talk some Jags. Travis Hunter, year 2. He's looking pretty jacked. Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. Kind of let me down last year. To the point where they had to go get more receiver help. But we'll talk to Stuart about the Jags. course, we'll take your text to 1-833-401-1440. Well, we'll probably in the final segment, we'll talk a little bit about our fantasy football league. We'll have some more information. Next week, we'll probably start taking, you can start buying your entries, $20 a person, half to the pot, half to a charity. But right now, why don't we get into it? I haven't even looked at these questions yet. 3 rounds with Donovan Paulson.
All right. Ding, ding.
Round 1.
You saw the first
I just
question?
opened it. Yeah. All right.
So if in case you missed it earlier on the show, this is also the clips are all up on socials about the Hottie Awards, aka the Hair of the Year Awards, which was during our 720 segment there. So
Newsflash, Tom Gazzola ran the
of course.
Wait,
One.
like
I was a co-winner for this year.
who was the competition? Like
Well, Eddie Steele
The
won in
world?
2017, I think.
for bald?
No, he had hair.
Eddie had hair?
Yes, I don't know if the cardboard cutout still
older than
floating around here.
2017. Carius won for 1988, I think. And then I was co-winner for 2026, which is a real feather in my cap.
You got the Statham look. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, anyways, if we were to do a Baldy of the Year award here at the station, would it be Eddie, Deck, or Greg's?
So I'm actually a little insulted I'm not nominated for this, for one thing. But if I had to pick one, Connor, I think it's a clear-cut winner. And as with all due respect to the other two, I think it's Eddie. Eddie keeps that thing shiny every single day. I don't think he takes a morning off from bicking that down to the wood and probably putting a little baby oil on it too. It looks great. Declan, he's new to the game. He could win breakout Baldy of the Year. But I just think the way Eddie's care and maintenance of the Chrome Dome is really admirable.
Breakout Baldy of the Year. Well, that one of us has to shave our head in this next few months here to at least give him some competition.
I vote for the intern.
Yeah, that's the way. Mac, get in here. I got an idea. It's a good little bit.
This will be great for content.
Yeah, great. You will do numbies. I think I'll roll with Jason. I think because he's talked about how he kind of owned it at a young age, just did away with the hair and the benefits it had for him. He keeps it pretty shiny as well, especially with the headshots. When I first read this, I didn't even see Deck. Deck's too new to the game. You guys are right. He doesn't really. He wears hats a lot, so he still covers it up. So I'm going with the guys who kind of embrace it. I don't think Greg shines it like Eddie, but he's been doing it for so long. So I'll go with Gregor as the Baldy of the Year.
Round 2.
I love that I got to throw that in there. Number 2 here, fellas. We're going, do you believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars, since we're going out there, have handled Travis Hunter the right way?
How many games did he even play last year? He didn't play the entire season, did he?
No, he got hurt.
He got hurt in October and then was done. So, and it was too bad too, because it came off his best game as a receiver when he had 8 receptions for 101 yards. I would say overall, probably not. If it was me, I would have had him just kind of play one position that first year. And I don't even know how many reps he took on defense because I didn't get a chance to prep this one totally. But having him just kind of focus on one spot, I think would have been the best. I know talking with Declan, we kind of thought he was a pretty solid corner prospect, and that might be the way to go. And then you work him in slowly into the offense every once in a while. But he was smaller, leaner, I would say. A chance to maybe add some muscle into year 2, which it looks like he has. I don't know what the perfect way is because he's such a unique prospect. I don't recall a player coming out of college and us being unsure about his position since maybe like Devin Hester. I think Hester played 2 ways, but also did the special teams. So I'll say no, but not like they didn't blow it. I just think maybe it could have been a little better.
So I'm going to have the same answer as Connor, which I don't really like to do, but I'm taking it I'm emphatically no. I'm not quite as soft on it as maybe Cons is, because to me, them saying, yeah, we're going to use them both, that's kind of letting the player dictate the terms. Like coming out, he said, I want to play both ways. His coach at Colorado, Deion Sanders, saying he can go both ways in the NFL. But when you're trying to put that much on the plate of a rookie, I don't care how a high IQ of a football player you are, how good you are, how athletic you are, all these things. That's simply too much to ask one young man to do, just 22 years old at the start of last season, and a very accomplished college career, playing at a couple different places, a couple different levels, even when you think about it in the biggest picture. But all that to say, on a Jags team that had some improvement expectations, but was not a powerhouse team, wasn't expected to run away with the division, anything like that. They thought, we're going to be dogfighting it out for the division, for a playoff spot, and that's exactly what happened to them. Now, credit to them. They win the division. But the way that you put a player in a position to succeed is not what they did, in my opinion. Pick a direction, have him as a DB, have him as a wide receiver, and let him try and excel at one thing rather than do a half-assed job at two things. And that's not to say that he was poor, right? Like you said, Connor, right in his final game before the injury took him over the year, 100 yards, right? 14 targets, 8 grabs on it. That's an exceptional stat line. A couple other games of over 40 yards receiving. The results, I think the results give them a cop-out to how they handle it, where they say, well, look, he actually fared okay in this situation. Whereas if they just put him in one spot, I think the opportunity to succeed would have been exponentially higher.
Yeah. So just for the facts there, he played 324 offensive snaps last season, 162 defensive. So essentially 2-to-1 on offense. For me, like if I was being an athlete being dropped onto the field, I think you need more coaching on the defensive side of the football. Right. I think, as a receiver,
you can just go out there and play a little bit.
Well, you hear the route, right? And you hear, okay, well, this is what I can run. I can work on my routes in progress. But for defensive football, knowing man versus zone, where I have to be, how far you're going to play off, inside, outside, like there's more technique, I think, to playing cornerback than there is receiver. So for me, if I want him to be a corner, I think that's probably where I would have gone a little more heavy and then worked him in certain passing situations. Like, do I need Travis Hunter to go out there and block? Maybe not quite as much. Occasionally, you can't just send him out there as a clear indication that you're going to be throwing the football. But I think, obvious passing situations, get him out there. He's an incredible athlete. His deep field speed is very impressive. This year, he's listed second on the depth chart, receiver, starting corner. So I think I kind of like that a little bit more.
Final round.
Number 3 up here, fellas. Staying in Jacksonville with the Jags. I'm not going to limit you on a player because there's really like 4 options here. If you were to pick one Jags receiver in fantasy football this season, who are you taking? Doesn't necessarily have to be who do you think is going to be the highest finisher, but who would you personally take?
I get to lead?
Yeah, you go for it.
2 days in a row. All right. This is probably the more unpopular one just based off numbers from last season in particular, but I'm not ready to quit on Brian Thomas Jr. I think he poses as a number 1 bounce back candidate this year based on his rookie season compared to last year. And maybe the full season of Jacoby Myers as his second option or Trevor Lawrence's second option maybe gives Brian Thomas Jr. a little more breathing space. Hopefully he approached the offseason the right way and addressed areas that let him down last year. But the package of Brian Thomas Jr., 6'2", 200 pounds, right, he's a first-round pick, awesome rookie season. I'm willing to go back to that well as the first Jags receiver I would take off the board. How high am I willing to take him? That might be another conversation in and of itself. But I think that's a featured product that I'm interested in investing in still.
Yeah, and I think you have some good points there. He played in 2 less games than Parker Washington last year and still had just 4 less targets. So Trevor Lawrence wants to get into football. I think that is clear. But I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers. And I think because Brian Thomas, physically, you looked at him like he's someone you have to game plan for. And I think Myers can take advantage of that. He had a great start to the season with the Raiders. Obviously, the Jags felt that maybe they weren't complete in the receiver room, so they went out and got him. He only appeared in 9 games for them, but 42 receptions, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think that he's the guy I would go to. I'd probably be a little bit cautious, and maybe I'm just hurt because last year I had Brian Thomas Jr. to break out and be the number 2 fantasy receiver. I've been wrong a lot of times in my life. Maybe that was the most wrong I've ever been. So I'm a little nervous about him. I'm hoping for him, but I think Jacoby Myers could be the safer pick. Donovan, what are you thinking?
I'm with you on Jacoby Myers. Honestly, I think Brian Thomas Jr. just terrifies me. After what I saw last year, it's scary. The amount of drops he had, particularly early in the season, that kind of sunk his season right from the jump, right? So I just think Jacoby Myers, like, there's a chance he's a value player for whoever picks him this year. But this is a receiver room I'm personally going to stay away from because I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, could Parker Washington just be this sudden random guy who breaks out? He did last year, in year 3, but could he break out and become, 1,000-yard receiver? I feel like that might be possible. Could you have Jacoby Myers go for 1,000? Of course. Could you have Brian Thomas Jr. bounce back? Yes. So when there's a receiver room that's that crowded and that uncertain, I usually stay away.
Kind of reminds me of the past of like the Green Bay Packers, where I was like, I'll take a tight end. I'll take Tucker Kraft on that team. But yeah, Parker Washington, for as good as he was last year, there's still going to be some questions. But that being said, could be a really good thing for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's got really good options now, and even Strange, the tight end, is a pretty good looking player, good prospect. The running game, we'll have to see. Tootin, Rodriguez, I think Amir Abdullah's on that roster. He's been around for a long time. So that kind of leads us into our little next segment here, because we've got questions about this team. Up next, we'll head down to Jacksonville, look at the Jags with Stuart Weber. It is the Frenzy here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. A happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Beer League Slow Pitch. It's an Alberta summer tradition.
I got shortstop. I'll take pitcher. Yeah, I'm just here for the dugout snacks.
When you're playing on the field, you need serious fuel. And there's only one MVP. Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Load up on Alberta's best beef jerky and hit a home run with the team. It's the perfect snack for your summer sports.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairies Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Don't let rookies scratch your custom wheels. Evolve Wheels and Tires uses premium touchless equipment designed to protect your wheel and tire investment. Trust the enthusiasts at Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Legendary is here with BetMGM Casino. Download now to check out over 4,000 casino games, including exclusive slots like Survivor and hundreds of live dealer games. Unlock Vegas magic and sign up for the BetMGM app. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Question: what do you do with your metal?
Lawn ornaments.
Statues.
I made this hat for Kitty, but it's a little heavy. Sorry, Mr. Fluffles.
At Metal Supermarkets, they encourage you to submit your creations to the Metal My Way Gallery today. You can win some great prizes. Go to metalmyway.com. A celebration of metal mastery. Proudly sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Because 60 minutes is just about enough. The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440. Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
$11:22. Welcome back. It is the Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky online. WilhaukBeefJerky.com. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Donovan Paulson, and intern Connor with you here. The Sports 1440 studios, very crowded and newly decorated with Tom Gazzola's Hair of the Year awards in our window now. So it's a very good looking studio. If you ever get the chance to come on by, you can always reach us 1-833-401-1440. Shoot us an email, Connor at sports1440.ca and Brandon at sports1440.ca. This segment brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the website, elksnation.ca, articles, podcasts, and more, even ticket giveaways. Go check them out. Plus, you got the 2 podcasts weekly with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger. Elks in action tomorrow, taking on the Montreal Alouettes. That's a 1 o'clock kickoff time. I'll be down at Castlewood Pub if you want to come watch at the official Elks watch party. Right now, let's head down to Duval and talk some Jacksonville Jaguars with Stuart Weber. Covers the team with Action Sports Jacksonville. Stuart, good morning or good afternoon for you. How you doing today?
Doing good, guys. Beautiful Friday down here in Northeast Florida. So we have very little to complain about throughout the course of the year.
No doubt about it. A beautiful place to live, I would assume, where the wind doesn't hurt your face for a few months of the season. Now, let's talk a little bit about this Jacksonville Jaguars team, and there's lots of really good storylines here when it comes to them. But the biggest might be Travis Hunter, and I know there's been a lot of questions about his usage last year. Of course, he has his best game as a receiver, and then the injury sidelines him. So I want to ask you kind of a 2-part question. What did you make of the team's usage with Travis Hunter last season, and will that change going into year 2?
It's a good question. I think Liam Cohen might be better to answer the second part of it. They're very, very much keeping that close to the vest. They don't want the rest of the NFL to kind of know what their plan is going to be with Travis Hunter, and I certainly get it. So many reports over the offseason about, he's only going to play on defense. He's still going to do both. Well, we'll see. But I will tell you that in every practice so far during training camp, he has had reps on both sides of the ball. So you can certainly expect that to continue. As far as how their usage worked in the first season, I thought it made sense simply because it's very hard for any NFL rookie to kind of absorb a playbook, let alone 2 playbooks when you're talking about both offense and defense. So I thought they were doing a good job of bringing him along. Obviously, you hate that the injury happens and you miss out on those crucial reps and that crucial time on the field. The team obviously still continued to do well even in his absence, and he was able to kind of watch it from the sidelines a little bit. But I would almost think you kind of pick up where you left off. You're not fully where you want to be as far as the 2-side usage goes for Travis Hunter, but you're building towards where that's going to eventually be.
Now, the man throwing the quarterback has been a very polarizing figure for NFL fans. Yeah, came in obviously very highly touted from Clemson, the first overall pick. His second year, I thought he was fantastic. And last year, the completion percentage drops down, but the touchdowns go up. And most importantly, the win column, 13-4 record for the Jags. What are you expecting out of Trevor Lawrence this upcoming season?
Yeah, I kind of popped in a little early to hear what you guys were talking about before I came on, and a lot of the fantasy conversation about, which wide receiver do you take? And if you're Trevor Lawrence, you do not care about fantasy football as far as who's going to get however many catches and touchdowns from your wide receivers. You're just happy that you have all of them. You have all these great options to spread the ball around based off of, whoever you're playing that week or what the game plan is or who's the hot hand, who's looking good out on the field in warmups. I mean, shoot, they have so many different options. They won't have that number one guy like maybe another NFL team does, and you spread it out. So if you're Trevor Lawrence, you love that. You certainly are hoping to lean on the run game quite a bit. They did that last year. The run game improved so much in Liam Cohen's first year. That's a big part of what Liam Cohen wants to do. Even as a former quarterback himself, he knows that a good run game is certainly going to contribute to being a good passer. So you can expect them to lean on that run game once again this year. And we'll see what Trevor Lawrence is able to do. I'm excited as he continues to mature and become more familiar with Liam Cohen's system with Grant Udinski as his offensive coordinator. You'd like to think that completion percentage can go up a little higher. Jacoby Myers coming on midseason last year certainly helped that as that safety blanket across the middle. So we'll see if the numbers go up. But if he wins the games, who cares?
Stuart Weber, our guest here on Sports 1440, out of Jacksonville for Action Sports, covering the Jags down there, looking ahead to this upcoming NFL season for the Jaguars. So the receiver room, I know you kind of hopped on a little and heard us throwing around that fantasy notion, but the actual football itself, fantasy aside, Brian Thomas Jr., such an impressive rookie season, and then the step back last year was pretty glaring, and I think the success the team was able to have outside of his struggles was even the more impressive when you talk about the addition of Myers, the breakout of Washington. What are the signs that point toward an ability for Thomas Jr. to bounce back this coming season and kind of reassert himself as a number one guy inside this group, that made him a first-round pick at LSU a couple summers ago?
Yeah, the rookie year that he had was sensational here in Jacksonville. He had a tremendous connection with Trevor Lawrence, and they hit on a lot of deep passes. And that's the thing right now. If you look at the other receivers, they're not that guy, right? Jacoby Myers is not the deep guy. Parker Washington's not the deep guy. Travis Hunter has a little bit of that in him, but he's not the same as Brian Thomas Jr. as far as saying, hey, go run that way. We're going to throw it as far as we can, and you're going to catch it for 50 yards. His ability to do that and be that guy in this offense, I think, is where you get that confidence from. And seeing him in these first couple weeks of camp, the drops that really plagued him a year ago, and he'll admit to you that it was not good. Those drops haven't been happening quite nearly as often. I mean, naturally you're going to have some here and there in any practice session, but it doesn't look the same as it did last year during training camp for Brian Thomas Jr. So hopefully you get an encouraging uptick. And I think, and I'm going to be on a limb here, I think the motivation of the Jaguars adding another player named Brian Thomas Jr. in the offseason, we have a practice squad eligible defensive lineman named Brian Thomas Jr. with a Y. I think that motivation is going to push him to be the best Brian Thomas Jr., not only on the Jags, but in the NFL.
Well, sometimes you got to find that motivation anywhere you can, Stuart. And that certainly seems like a good in-house one for the receiver, Brian Thomas Jr. Now, another pass catcher that the team seems pretty high on, and the numbers don't pop off the page at you, but Brenton Strange at the tight end position. What makes him an appealing option that this team is really, really high on to get more involved in the offense on a few different fronts?
I mean, he is the pass-catching tight end on this offense. Their first draft pick this year in the NFL draft. Nate Borkature, very much a blocking tight end. Not a sexy pick by any means, but it's something that Cohen wanted in his offense. He wanted to run more multiple tight end sets out there, and adding Borkature gives them that option to allow Strange to be more of the receiver, Borkature more of the blocker. And, behind Strange, there's not a whole lot when it comes to pass-catching tight ends. Quentin Morris is a guy that they like that, he's fine for depth, but Strange is going to be that guy. To the pre-Liam Cohen era, we saw Evan Engram do it at such a high clip as a receiving tight end. And Brenton Strange learned a whole lot from him in his early years here in the NFL. So you'd like to think that those lessons learned are certainly going to help Brenton Strange here moving forward, really as that top pass-catching tight end in this offense. And like I said, just another target for Trevor Lawrence, another guy that he can distribute the ball to.
We're taking a look at the Jacksonville Jaguars with Stuart Weber here on the Frenzy. Halley and Douglas with you. Any questions? 1-833-401-1440. If we look to the defensive side of the football, Stuart, Trevon Walker, I remember that draft. It kind of feels like he was slept on, like as a first overall pick. What have you seen from him in his development in the last few years?
Versatility. I think that's the big key, especially in our current NFL where defensive coordinators are using so many different looks. And they want to throw a guy at any position and really confuse the heck out of an offensive line and maybe a young quarterback that you're facing in the NFL. Well, Trevon Walker has that ability to kick inside when needed because he's a big body. He's not a little man by any sense of the imagination. So he can get after the quarterback on the end, but you can also kick him inside there with Eric Armstead. And you're not going to have too many bigger defensive lines when you're talking about Armstead, Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen, just in terms of pure mass and size that they can do there. So Walker has certainly continued to raise his floor every year. And I think that's the big part about the Jags picking him up, is that the ceiling, who knows where the ceiling's at? It's very high, and they want to keep reaching towards that ceiling. But I think, and he's certainly got a big contract here recently, you keep lifting the floor every year for him. I think that's a positive thing for this Jaguars defense if you can do that.
Going to flip back to the offense here because we totally just bypassed the running game. And last year, HN Jr. had over 1,000 yards, over 1,100 yards. And Trevor Lawrence was also a huge threat too, 9 touchdowns, which is very impressive. But this year, it looks like it's going to be Tootin, and then they bring in Chris Rodriguez Jr. from Washington, LaQuint Allen Jr., Amir Abdullah. That's, I mean, a name I haven't heard in a while, but glad to see he's still kicking around in the NFL here. What do you expect this year for the running backs? And, is it going to be Tootin kind of that bell cow back for the Jags?
I think they trust Tootin a lot. You kind of had to move on from Achan, who goes back to his hometown, New Orleans Saints, which is cool for him. We loved having him here. He was a great friend of Trevor Lawrence, obviously, through their many, many years of playing together from Clemson and then here with the Jaguars, and a consummate professional. So we loved having him here. And them moving on from Travis really tells me that they have a lot of confidence in Tootin, in LaQuint Allen, the 2 guys that they drafted last year. They go and add some veterans to the room, certainly in Chris Rodriguez, who Cohen actually coached for a year in college at Kentucky. So they have a connection that goes way back to where Liam, saw him firsthand from, within an actual staff of what he can do. And Rodriguez has taken a lot of meaningful snaps with first team in this training camp period. And much like the wide receiver position, it's going to be probably spread between those two, a platoon type situation. And LaQuint Allen will get a little bit as well. He is, by the way, if you haven't seen some of the blocks that LaQuint Allen lays in third down pass protection, go Google some of those, because he is just an outstanding third down running back. And his blocks are just, he's angry. I don't know what he's angry at, but he's angry about something, and he'll hit you, which is awesome. You certainly love that from a running back.
Yeah, certainly a nice trait to have, especially in blocking, where you're not getting too many highlights for that. But that's awesome to hear. Now, ahead of their next preseason game, or first preseason game, you got 8 days, I believe, Saturday, taking on the New Orleans Saints. Leading up to that, and in that game, what are some positional battles you're looking forward to tuning into?
Here's the problem, and this is the problem with all 3 of the preseason games for the Jaguars. Don't expect the starters. They're doing joint practices with all 3 of their opponents in the preseason, which is an interesting thing. Usually you'll get 1 or 2. They're doing it with each and every opponent that they play in the preseason this year, and that's where they're really going to put those starter reps on display. So obviously keep an eye on your favorite local media here in Jacksonville. That's Action Sports Jacks. But keep an eye on really those practice reports from those joint practices. I have a feeling that that's going to tell you a whole lot more about the top half of the roster than the bottom half of the roster that you'll see in those preseason games. For me, and like I said, I don't know if we'll see this in actual action, but the offensive line, what's happening there right now is very interesting, because Anton Walker, who was the starting right tackle the last few years, has been taking a decent amount of snaps at left tackle here throughout training camp. And that's because the guy that they gave a contract to last year, Cole Van Lanen, finished the year injured, and he's still on the PUP. So he's on that physically unable to perform list. You got Walker Little, another guy who's been around for a while and has played that swing tackle both sides. But Anton Harrison, who's in his 4th year as a pro with the Jaguars, has played a lot of left tackle. So we'll see if they keep him there to protect Trevor's blind side. But I mean, you go straight down the depth chart and kind of look at some of those battles. Who's going to be the other linebacker? Beside Foye Oluokun, who's a rock on that defense. But will it be Ventrell Miller, the former Florida Gator, or will it be Branson Combs, the guy who the Jaguars staff apparently really likes? You look at the cornerback position, they've got more starters than starting positions, is kind of how I look at it. And hey, that's a good thing, right? You talk about having Buster Brown, Jordan Lewis, Jarian Jones, and Travis Hunter. So how many of those guys are going to be able to get on the field at once is a big question mark. But hey, that competition is what you want to see. I can't tell you how many years in Jacksonville we didn't have that. We didn't have any competition for starting positions, because we knew who the best players on the team were, because there were so few. We had so many bad years here, and it feels so different now in Jacksonville. And I now know what these other NFL markets have felt like for all these years. And I'm very happy to be in the midst of it here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and the one thing we know, injuries are inevitable. So it's next man up. You got to stay ready, and that's great to hear for the Jags fans out there. Now, my last question, just looking at that division, the Jags last year 13-4. You got the Houston Texans, whose defense I think is going to be even better than it was last year. You've got the Colts, finished 8-9, but they lost 7 in a row. They had to call Phillip Rivers off the couch. And then the Tennessee Titans, who I still think will be the worst team in the division, but trending in the right direction. How do you think the AFC South plays out this year?
I do think it's a two-team battle at the top between Houston and Jacksonville. I know Indy had a terrific run to start their season last year, and a lot of that I think had to do with the schedule and great play by Daniel Jones as well. So certainly that's something they would need to duplicate that. I don't think the Colts have won in Jacksonville in like a decade. There's this crazy streak going for that one, which will hopefully keep that one going. And our last year playing in Jacksonville for a little bit. Next year, the team will be in Orlando for their home games before coming back in 28 to the new stadium. So, yeah, I would like to think that you continue doing what you did well against the Colts last year. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor just signed that extension yesterday, which led me to look at his stats against the Jags last year, 70 and 74 yards respectively, both on 21 carries. So Jags did a terrific job of bottling him up in both of those games, and you hope they can do that again. If you do that again, you're in good shape to probably beat the Colts. That's a big part of it. Houston's got a otherworldly defense, right? Find a way to beat it, and you can win the game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun between these two franchises to go back and forth for Houston and Jacksonville and see who's on top. And that's the wild thing, right? The Jags won so many games at the end of last year, but they had to. Like, that's the thing. They had to win each and every one of those. Otherwise, the Texans were going to pass them and win the division. They had to win the last game of the year, and they won 8 or 9 in a row. And it's like, wow, really? They're right here nipping on our heels, and they were. So it should be a lot of fun. I certainly can't wait for what the schedule holds this year.
Yeah, you're right. Jacksonville winning 8 of the last final games. The Texans won 9. So what a competitive race it was down the stretch. Well, Stuart, thanks so much for doing this today. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of camp and the preseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys enjoy the beef jerky. I can't think of a better sponsor for a show than beef jerky. It's just fantastic. Absolutely love that. And if anybody wants to see more Jaguars coverage, check us out on our YouTube page, Action Sports Jacks. We got all sorts of content there for you.
Perfect. And you know what? You were the second consecutive. We went to the Indianapolis Colts yesterday, and with their guest also said, shout out to Will Hawk Beef Jerky. So,
I mean, come on, it's just tremendous. I love it. I love that.
If you're ever up in Edmonton, let us know. We'll hook you up.
All right, perfect. I will take you up on that, sir.
There you go. Stuart Weber covers the Jacksonville Jaguars for Action Sports. Appreciate him giving us some time right now, especially with camp going on. There's so much to do. So anytime we get a beat reporter hopping on, we really do appreciate it. Give him a follow on X at Stuart AS Jacks. Now I want some beef jerky. We got to go out there, don't we?
I'm southbound today.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll dip in on my way past Leduc. Get a little stash of it for the weekend in Elnora.
You got slow pitch?
Got slow pitch tournament. That's the prime area for myself. There's also the very, very popular Elnora Brahmarama PBR Canada event.
The what?
Brahmarama, depending on your preferred pronunciation. It's a bull riding event. It's PBR sanctioned. It's a big deal.
That's cool.
And then actually what I think has become more popular, and this is with all due respect to the bull riders and what they're doing out there as professionals, the intermission entertainment is wild cow milking. For those that know what that is, like when you know, they take some Brahma cows, which are the ones that give birth to these eventual championship bulls that are bucking people off. They're pretty feisty themselves. And you have a team of 3 with nothing but a rope halter on this Brahma cow to try and actually milk it into a little cup. It's chaos all inside the ring, and they sell the Calcutta teams for it. It's a big to-do. I myself a winner of it once in the past when I was a younger man with 2 operating ACLs. I don't think the number to pay me to get back in and do that again at right now in my life, actually right now I simply couldn't right now with my knee. But even if I was healthier, the price is astronomically high. It is entertaining.
I was gonna say it sounds kind of fun to watch.
I don't know. Have I ever showed you the video of me doing it? number of years
I don't
ago.
think
I'll
so.
see if I can dig it up and to show it to you after the show. It's pretty physically brutal. You just get absolutely steamrolled, ran over, trampled on, kicked, mashed by these cows for a few minutes. And then hopefully you get a little milk out of it too.
Glory lasts forever. Do you drink the milk right after?
No. Well, I know I wasn't the one milking it. My teammate was. I was holding on for dear life to try and keep it still at that moment. I was the lead man. I was at the front of the halter, and I paid the price.
I'm looking forward to this footage. We'll take a break. When we come back, we get to more of your text. Dean and Playbook Vic asking very similar questions. So we'll answer that when we return. We'll also let you know what's coming up on the Lowdown and the Jason Gregor Show. It is The Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Cantork has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks. Ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers The Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Hi, thinking about switching vehicles? Think Subaru. The Subaru Crosstrek was named the 2026 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV. And once you drive it, you'll understand why. With impressive fuel efficiency, legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, and generous ground clearance, the Crosstrek is ready for your Monday commute and your Saturday adventure. This month, take advantage of loyalty rates as low as 0.49%. So, before you decide your next SUV, come experience the Crosstrek for yourself. Visit your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
Caesars is Alberta's anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Stay in the action with your favorite teams and players. Whether you're camping, kayaking, or catching a show this summer, bet wherever you are, whenever you want. Plus, Caesars Sportsbook offers fast payouts and flex parlays, a new way to keep your bet alive even if a pick misses. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today.
Must be 18 or older and physically present in Alberta to gamble. Must be 21 or older to use Caesars Sportsbook. If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply. Please play responsibly.
Quick opinions and fun times. The Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440. Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
11:46. Welcome back to the Frenzy here on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at willhawkbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you. The Duke might head out to Leduc and get some of the best beef jerky of all time.
There's a chance. I'd put it at a good chance. As usual, it would depend on my departure time this afternoon. Now, our game is at 7:40, pretty late. For our tournament opener this evening, which means I have to leave pretty early to get there in time, a couple hours away. Should have a window to pop by during their hours of operation.
Question.
Answer. Daily double.
True daily double. How long you're there for the weekend?
Yeah.
You got a tent? You got a trailer, hotel?
No, I have, and I've said this many times on air. I am that guy that is just really grateful that a lot of my friends and family members all have holiday trailers for events like this. So I will be crashing in the, actually my younger sister and her fiance, they just got a new trailer, new to them, I should say. And it's a little bit bigger. So there's a couple extra beds. So I'll be crashing one of those for the weekend.
That's beautiful.
And the reality is at this tournament, even at my age, like this stage of my slow pitch tournament going live, there's not a lot of time spent in there. It's pretty late nights. You crash for a few hours, get back up. Thankfully, we don't play until noon tomorrow. So if I do need to sleep in a little bit, that will be at my benefit. When you get that like 9 a.m. and I think in years past, even sometimes 8 a.m. draws for the Saturday morning games, that's a tough spot.
Yeah.
They expanded the field this year. I think there's more teams, and they are using a third diamond as well. Which for a very small town like Elnora, the fact there's 2 diamonds and then a third one over at the school that's a little bit lower quality than the 2 primary ones. It's a very impressive feat. Like there's 20 plus teams in this tournament. It's a town of like 30 people.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty sweet, man. I'm jealous.
My team's a 2-time champion of it.
You can crank the AC in that trailer, and
that probably won't be up to me, but I hope so.
You need it.
I wonder should I bring my air conditioner?
Yeah, you should.
My mobile unit,
portable unit.
Just drag it around with me, just constant AC blowing all the time.
That'd be funny.
Just sitting in front of it in the dugout.
We get a little bubble suit or something just to keep you cold. Be great. Text line's 1-833-401-1440. Should let you guys know. Coming up next is the Lowdown Flow Tide. They'll have Lansky joining them on the program. And then that's noon to 2. Declan will be there as well. Then 2 to 6, the Gregor Show. We're still figuring some things out. Talk some CFL, some NFL, some Blue Jays. Of course, a little hockey. We'll have Spec join us, Low Tide. Should be a good one. Jays in action tonight, taking on the Philadelphia Phillies after yesterday's blowing of the 2-0 lead.
Did you catch the end of that in studio here in the extras?
Yeah.
The way the Jays were trending, even like I get it, they had the lead and they lost it, but the play by Ernie Clement in 10 and then the play by Miles Straw in the 11th, I was like, they're going to win this baseball game. They just kind of got that mojo today. And it's just another unfortunate wasted effort by Dylan Cease, who was, again, tremendous. Got into a little bit of trouble in the early going. Had a surprisingly high pitch count to the first couple innings, but still strikes out 10, 7 innings, no runs, just a couple hits.
2 hits.
Really impressive outing again by Dylan Cease, who continues his push towards a potential AL Cy Young award this year.
You mentioned like fantastic defensive plays, and then you lose it on a defensive play.
Yeah. And it's disappointing because Valenzuela, like he's a rookie catcher, and he's exceeded every expectation I had for him anyway, right? When he first came up and was splitting with Heineman at the time of Kirk's injury. You kind of see him the first couple of times, you're like, man, this guy's definitely got something. He's going to take over for Heineman as the primary guy in Kirk's absence. And even now in Kirk's return, he's, I think, still battling things a little bit. He's getting a lot of playing time. He's been very good behind the plate in particular. He's got an excellent arm now. Those power type arm catchers, when you miss sometimes. And yeah, just airmails it, unfortunately. So an error to lose you a game in extra innings is always a tough pill to swallow.
Hit the glove, though.
Got a piece. Is it the same in baseball as it is in football, Connor? If you can touch it, you can catch it?
I think so. But I'm not a baseball player, so maybe they would disagree. But I think so. I think he had to catch that one. At least hold him at third. Okay, the text line. 1-833-401-1440. Playbook Vic, MTR, Deanocracy, all with very similar questions here. But Playbook Vic also said, what happened to KK? Did he retire? Because Playbook Vic is, he's off the grid. He's back in the real world for a little while and asked the question. Yes, Kevin Karius did retire, actually. We don't know what he's doing now. I think he might be off the grid.
He was in Saskatchewan last week, back in Melville, where he calls home, his original home, where he grew up. And I know he's going to be back. I'm supposed to play golf with him next Friday, I think, in a tournament. I might have to leave the show slightly early.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, but by then, young Connor here, he'll be fully prepped and ready to handle the duties for a segment or two.
Connor and Connor. Finally.
Connor squared.
Finally,
which
the people get what they
was
want.
that your name, Donovan? He wanted to call one person Connor squared. Like, mathematically, that's just not correct.
No.
I know Donovan's not a math guy. He went to Nate for the radio program.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. So the question was, everyone's asking fantasy football info. So, okay, well, we're going to get to it next week. That's when we'll officially start selling the tickets, we'll say. Mackenzie's going to do a graphic.
The
She told
raffle.
me. The raffle.
We're going to raffle it up.
So what's going to happen is, let me just bring up my calendar here. We'll open it up, let's say, sometime next week. We'll keep pumping it up. We'll try to get as many people in as we can. We'll do half the money to charity. Half the money goes to the winner eventually. We will do the draw for who's in the league on, I will say, the 4th of September. That's the week before it gets going. And then the draft will be the Tuesday at 6:00. Does that sound good, Duke?
Yes.
So we have plenty of time to get in on it. We'll do the draw and then the draft. It's going to be a standard league. I'm not exactly sure if we'll do PPR, maybe do a vote of the people who get into it, but we'll get Mackenzie in studio or Donovan, one of the two, to draw names for the draft, and we'll have some fun. We'll raise some money, and the winner of the league the year previous does get in. They still have to pay for one entry fee and could play more, but we did make that announcement last year. So I forget who the winner was. I believe a local lawyer in our city. He'll get in. He has to pay the $20 entry fee. You got to buy at least one ticket, maybe. Since it's charity, maybe he'll want to buy more. That's fair too. But we'll have 10 spots up for grabs. MTR says, remember, the season starts on Wednesday this year. Oh, fun. Well, we're still probably going to have to do it Tuesday night. Monday is a long weekend. And that'll be, it could be busy for people. I already have a draft. Then I got the watch party Labor Day game. So it'll be tough for me to do the Monday. So it'll probably be the Tuesday. Then you set your roster immediately. Nikki Northside, what about last place? Do they get in? They have to pay double, actually, Nikki.
Just for a chance.
Just for a chance. MTR says, I know I'm not getting in, bro. I can feel it in the air. Well, MTR had the legendary miss the first season where he put in a lot of entries. Last year got in. Goroyle says, if you can touch it, you should catch it is the equivalent of saying photo finish is an automatic tie. What?
Not sure I see the parallel, but I'm guessing this is some sort of disagreement with that expression about if you can touch it, you can catch it.
I mean, in football, if you hit your hands and you're going to get hit anyways, you might as well hang on to the football.
What if
right?
the pass is so high that you, a freak athlete, go full vertical, which is already impressive, and it like grazes off the top of your fingertips?
And it's like 42-inch vertical?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might get a pass on that one.
Okay.
What's the quarterback thinking? What are they doing? Maybe putting in a spot where only you can get it and still can't get it. Yeah, I mean, it's like if you overthrew Randy Moss, you probably overthrew a bad throw. You know, if it hit his fingertips and he didn't catch it with his speed and size and length, then probably was a pretty bad throw. Well, Duke, good luck in your tournament. Stay healthy.
Well, I don't really know what's left to break. I suppose that my shoulders are in relatively good shape that they could go, but I'm hoping that won't happen. Knock on wood.
We're all going to knock on wood. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for joining us. You know, they say the most valuable thing you can give someone is your time. So thank you for giving us your time and tuning into the show today. Up next, Lowdown, followed by the Jason Greger Show. But first, a Sports 1440 update with the Duke, brought to you by the Edmonton Elks. Kick off the second half of the season with a 5-game ticket pack and get a $25 voucher. Get your half-season pass today at goelks.com/tickets. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Full set of games across the major leagues of baseball, including the Toronto Blue Jays stopping by the city of brotherly love for some interleague play. Jose Soriano set to make his Jays debut on the hill for Toronto. Zach Wheeler countering for the Phillies. First pitch, 440. Catch that game right here on Sports 1440, joined in progress at the conclusion of the Jason Gregor Show. Elsewhere, Yankees hosting the Braves. Red Sox welcome the Athletics into the friendly confines of Fenway. Orioles up against the Rangers in Texas. Mariners host the Rays. And the Dodgers taking on the D-backs from the desert. CFL week number 10 continuing tonight with the Saskatchewan Roughriders hosting the winless 0-7 Ottawa Redblacks. Kickoff at 7. And the Edmonton Elks depth chart coming out for tomorrow's matchup against the Alouettes. David Beard set to return under center as the starter. Ditto for Nick Anderson at the middle linebacker position. Buffalo Bills coming to terms with their right guard Osiris Torrance on a 4-year, $78.4 million extension, including $46 million guaranteed. That'll make him the 7th highest paid guard in the NFL. And some NHL offseason news. The LA Kings announcing they're set to retire former captain Anze Kopitar's number 11 during the upcoming season, and will also honor him with a statue outside of Crypto.com Arena. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station.